So I think off rip we can already just assume Goku. I'm putting Piccolo right in between these two. Here's why. I think this Goku is probably the best DPS in the game. He can up to have about 5 get out tools. I'm talking Kaioken, his Meteor Smash, 2 vanishes. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then he's just super strong. The burst damage is insane. It definitely beats Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This Goku runs Super Saiyan 3. A lot of people right now think that Super Saiyan 3 is extremely busted. It's really not, because he is a very, very good character in the right hands. But the issue is, once he's dove, it's really not much he can do. And as much as people might want to say, oh, well, according to with Piccolo on the field, yeah, he might run Piccolo too. But the thing is, yeah, just don't get dove. Yeah, just don't get dove. But the thing, and that's hard to do when you have characters that have so many get-in tools. You have characters that have so many abilities that can just kind of dive you for free. Now, even Piccolo can dive this Goku for free. The reason why I put this Piccolo above is because if people actually notice, Piccolo's arm can attach to walls, can attach to buildings, can attach to teammates. All you have to do is reposition yourself, even at a further distance, insta-click what am I thinking about right now? Hellzone grenade. No, not Hellzone grenade. I'm going light grenade. He got a lot of grenades. My bad. But you just pop your light grenade and it insta wipes his Goku from a far enough distance. And you can go pretty far with his arm. So I do think that this is a plausible counter for this Goku, because that burst damage beats that overtime damage anytime. Burst damage beats DOT anytime when you're talking about one-shotting, right? So it's a thing. Instant transmission is also a thing. I'm just again, good players, small players, I'm just saying, if it came down to a straight situation, this would be where we be at with DPS right now. As far as who's the top, I think Piccolo is extremely strong. A lot of people are sleeping on Piccolo. I mean, when you think about it, he's actually the best of both worlds. You have a dive character who can also retreat, who can create space so well that it's hard for you to even dive him. So it creates a really hard, difficult time for divers. And then he can also pressure you by closing off exit locations. He can close off teams from trying to assist you. And even on top of that, again, that light grenade is so punishing. And now with the lower cooldown, it's very punishing. I was over here blasting people from halfway across the map who didn't even see it coming, and just, that's it. A level 2 light grenade is just ridiculous to deal with. And I don't think anybody's ready for what will come with that. Now, for instance, Goku, for sure, this Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a problem. Don't get me wrong. They're still top 3. Regardless, they're still top 3. They're still a freaking problem. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is just insanely strong right now. Map presence, I think, was a term used earlier. That's exactly what it is. He's just everywhere. He can cover everywhere. If you actually slowed it down, which a lot of players right now aren't really slowing it down for themselves, which is why they're not really seeing the vision. But if you slowed it down with this character, you actually paid attention, took your time, and looked at what was going on, you could be everywhere at once. Once you get level 2, level 3 on your instant transmission, there's no one you can't assist, and you're there long enough and you're there doing enough damage to where you can kind of overrun any lane. You can push anybody. The only thing about him I would say that's really bad is if Cooler's on the field or if Khalifa's on the field. It's not really much you're going to do with this Goku. Those two are going to run this Goku every time. Cell is kind of iffy, because early game he's such a bad startup, but towards end game, Cell gets a little bit more beefy enough to take out this Goku as well. So a lot of tanks are a true problem for this Goku. He wails on everyone else, but unlike the other Goku, he just can't get away fast enough outside of using that instant transmission. But if you use the instant transmission rice bomb to get in, it kind of becomes a problem getting out once you're already in. Once you teleport in, I'm breaking your back and Cell, I'm beating the crap out of you. It's gonna be hard for you to get out. You gotta wait 30 seconds. A lot can go down in 30 seconds. So that's why I kind of put these 3 here. I would say, because we got to look at everybody's DPS here, this list is kind of mixed up. I would definitely throw 18 right next to them. The only downside to 18 is her HP. I don't think she's terrible. I think she's really good. Her HP does not sustain anything other than quick dive, get out. 1 or 2 hits, she's pretty much cooked. And that's her only downside for her. That's it. 18 is a crazy character. I do not like walking up on an 18 and then just getting my whole health bar ripped to shreds before I can even think, you know. You don't want to commit on a bad situations, but as a get out tool, instant transmission is really good. It is a really good tool. It's also going to take a lot of people to get used to the way it operates though too, because you have to make a selection on the wheel, and if you make the wrong selection right, so you really got to pay attention to like when you're going to use it though, because it's not just, oh, instant transmission, I'm out the way. It's instant transmission. I also need full map awareness in areas that I can't see. So I do agree with you. That's just like the only downside, because I actually tried to go help somebody on Goku, and I went and I teleported straight to them and teleported straight into a cell ult. My ass was in the cell games getting towed up. It was nothing I could do. I was just like, oh, you know what, bro? And I just ate that entire ult and I couldn't get out. So that is a really bad thing. 18, I really don't think 18 has any flaws. It's just that one flaw, I mean, except for that one, but that one flaw puts her so far down. It's just like not having HP.
She has so many get in and get out tools.
Yes.
Kid.
She just, yeah, and no good AoE either. Yes, that destructible disc is very easy to dodge. And the crazy thing is, as I say this, I have to put Kale just slightly above her. I gotta put Kale just slightly above her because Kale shares the same flaw. Like out of all these characters, if you were to separate it, you have great damage, great HP, really just can't deal with tanks too well, but other than that, they hold pretty well. But then you have the other two DPS here who cannot sustain worth a damn. Kale is a lot easier to play, yes, and if you do get dove, if you finally do end up in that rough situation, unlike 18, you can just ult out of it and just save yourself with the amount of like that massive amount of HP that she has. You can kind of just save yourself. But the thing is, Kale does also struggle against the rest of the DPS cast here that's above her, and that's why I think she kind of goes into and where she struggles with that. I would also put Trunks right above her, because with Trunks is a great character. I think Trunks is good. I just think Trunks is underutilized. So I hate having Trunks on my team, because every time I have a Trunks on my team, they're buffing the wrong ability and getting absolutely no value from that ability that scales off of HP. They will use it at full HP and I'm just like, bro, what are we doing? You know? And then next thing you know, I'm watching as I'm getting beat down and my Trunks is doing like itty bitty damage, right? And I'm trying to lead him to do more damage. So I think Trunks is really good. Trunks is crazy in game. Again, if more people just slowed down a bit and took their time to level the character, figure out what's the level path for that, and then play to his strength, he would do a lot better in games. But currently right now, he's just not doing that great in games. But I still think he is a crazy character with a lot of potential. With that being said, so this one's kind of weird, and this one's just kind of me for real. I would say if we're looking at who's next on the DPS list, I can actually go ahead and organize this. I didn't know that. So we will have another section called to be determined, and we will put them there. We will move Bojack here. We'll move Frieza down here. Tanks will be kind of low. We'll have the text up next to each other. Actually gotta move these. I'm losing track of everything. All right, so the text here. Tanks. Gamma 1 and 2 are DPS. Damage. Let's move these guys to the bottom. This is a weird mix up here. You're gonna move these guys to the bottom then. Okay, so we have damage. What else here is damage? I'll use Topo to kind of like end this off, so that way we know where the cutoff is. And then we have tech. Zamasu is down there in tank. Caulifla.
Put many in DPS.
Yeah. I gotta move him up too. This is so I don't lose track. And then we'll separate tech from tank. All right, does that look better? Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. better.
Bojack goes at the bottom of this tier list. I'm just going to save us the time. This character is bad. Look, I think there's some good Bojacks out there. I have yet to see them, but I do see the vision in Bojack about just keeping your enemies held and captivated and just closing off space, controlling the map. I think a lot of people are just more focused on the DPS aspect of Bojack, and that's what's really selling them a lot. But map control is very big, especially if you're on top lane. I think Bojack does very well on top lane, because just like Frieza, if we had Bojack and Frieza top lane, they would do so well together because their amount of map control is just so good. But the issue is, again, I think a lot of players just currently, now I'm not saying me because I haven't really played Bojack yet, but I played him enough in training to really see what a vision is. And I just don't think a lot of people are focusing on what he can provide as far as stealing space. If you slowed it down a little bit, which we're going to use the term slow down a lot because that's just what a lot of this game is. Everyone's trying to be super fast and get the win as soon as possible. And they don't realize how some characters actually benefit in game. Some characters benefit early game, and then they take that into in game. It really depends on how you level that character and how you get that momentum going. Anyway, but I would have to put him here because right now, even as great as he could be, it's just not enough for the current roster that's here. And Bojack is just kind of underwhelming. Like, I see him on the field, I would normally rush him. The only time he becomes a problem is if someone is there with him being a problem with him. Then I'm just like, all right, Bojack, you know. But I just don't see him being too much of a problem at the moment. The next two I will put up, honestly, and right in front of Bojack would be Gamma 1 and 2. I don't think that they're too bad. I actually think that they're really good. When they're in end game, they're amazing, annoyingly so, because just getting one-shotted by the nuke or just taking a combo from them 24/7 is a lot. It hurts. Their ult is terrible, but it's the build-up. It's having such low HP for Gamma 1 and then swapping into Gamma 2, and that time that it takes to swap is kind of the same reason why I deal with Zamasu the way I do, but we'll get to that when I get there. It's that timing in between that gives people enough time to kind of set up for you to swap, and then they got to deal with that, and they pretty much deal with it accordingly. It's not too overwhelming, but it is strong in the right hands, and I do see a lot of good Gamma 1 and 2 players. Actually a pretty unique character, and I like the way they did it, so I hope that they do more characters like this, a little team duo thing. That'd be pretty nice. Like if we had Goten and Trunks as a duo, that'd be pretty daggone cool. Listen, I think that'd be awesome, and they both go Super Saiyan together. Like, it'd be nice. But you know, more gimmick characters like this, I think he's good. I think this is a good space for him, just kind of being here. Now, if I were to go to Oob, I think Oob is incredibly slept on. I think not enough people are playing Oob to his fullest potential. We did see a crazy Oob earlier. Actually, he was playing him very well, but I think Oob is incredibly slept on. Oob can immediately decimate HP within seconds if it's just focused on one person. The thing is, this game really does split that focus a lot automatically, but if you ever go to training and you practice with Oob at a high enough level, even like level 12, level 15, whatever, you can see that Oob is just insane. He just eviscerates health, but that comes with the right rotation, and I think a lot of that is what I get at when I talk about DPS in this game is a class that focuses mainly on rotation. You want to rotate, whereas though Tech is a class that focuses on cooldown, having low cooldowns and just using abilities to where you can kind of benefit the team. DPS is the team where you want to rotate those skills in an efficient way to give you more damage output. I think Oob does that very well, and so with Oob, I would actually put Oob right above Trunks a little bit, actually, because Oob is really just that good. I'm not gonna lie, Trunks is good, but the way Oob be moving sometimes, especially with his dash ability, I feel like it can outdo abilities that Trunks has. Repositioning yourself manually twice is really good. Having the damage output for repositioning yourself is a good bonus, and just paying attention to the field and putting that damage out in right areas is really good. So I think Oob is very underlooked at. Oob should be looked at a lot more, and more people should be playing Oob. As I say that, I kind of don't want y'all to play Oob more, because that means I have to deal with more Oob, and I don't want to do that. So we go from there. Play him, but don't play him. Deborah is weird though, because I feel like I'm doing too much with this, but honestly, I gotta put Deborah like right here behind 18 and a little over Gamma. because where Gamma falls off at, Dabura does very well with. I think he's a good DPS, but I also don't think Dabura is good alone. I don't think he's good alone. He's good. He's not as good as everybody else on the top of this list. And that's where he falls short. He has to get the petrification to really be good. And if your Dabura is not good, and I know this is purely like situational, but if your Dabura is not good, not going to get it. I can't tell you how often it is that I actually found a Dabura that knows how to use petrification as much as the one Dabura did earlier. But any other Dabura, I don't really see them getting away with using petrification that much. And we typically, in higher levels, we play so well that we can kind of avoid that meter as much as we can. Whether we're pushing enemies back, repositioning them, if we're playing as Baby, if we're playing as Piccolo, if we're playing as any character with some sort of range or push, like we can definitely keep him off. You use the board to bleed him. I think his bleed ability is really good. Honestly, I think it's really good. I don't doubt it at all. I'm just saying in certain situations where, like, I'm not saying he's bad, and he's actually not even low tier. He's just not as good as the other picks that we can have here, and that's just my opinion, honestly. But I think in the right hands, the board can be good, especially with some coordination. Because the moment you tell me, "Oh, bro, he's petrified," oh, we ganking him. There's nothing we can really do. We're taking him. The booty is ours, right? But until then, a lot of these characters really do stop him from that. Kale has long range abilities. 18, you do not want to try to dive 18. Trunks, once you get that low HP, he's just going to jump you. It's going to be hard to track him. Ranged out by Oob. Beamed by Goku. Beamed by Piccolo. Times 4 by the other Goku. You know, you're just not getting anywhere with these guys. Unless they play out of position, which is crazy. I gotta get a ×4 emo. I need an emo of Goku yelling ×4. I just need it. I don't focus on Stone unless they get too gusty, but he does need a good partner. Yeah, and one of his best partners is Baby, because once I petrify you, Baby gets inside me, no diddy, and then I'm just taking the entire team, or I'm taking your whole health bar. You know, it's whatever, and I'm just gonna regen, and then my boy's gonna be good, I'm gonna be good, and then we're just gonna run down your partner. Last but not least is Daima Goku, which, due to his buff, if I gotta really put it where I want to put it, I think that's fair. Don't hate me. I think that's fair. I'm not going to say he's the top in this game, but Daima Goku is a serious competitor for being like #1 in this game. Or not #1. Well, yeah, he's a serious competitor for being #1. He is. It's just right now the other characters are entirely too strong. They're entirely too strong. You would put Trunks above. You would put him above Trunks. You would. He could be the strongest character in the game because he has a lot, right? A range attack or a rush attack that constantly extends within range as you keep rushing. He has abilities that combo together. There are not too many, like, as you can see up here, there's not too many DPS characters that are stronger than him, or as strong as him, excuse me, that can do that. Yeah, like just two-shotting a DPS. Dog, ain't nothing like throwing that bomb, Glory Thunder, boom, you're dead. It's just like, yo, what just happened? Like, you're taking damage from two different skills that combo together in such an efficient way. It's really kind of good. He would be the top character in this game. I think one of the things that's biting him really is not having a lot of HP. That's biting him a little bit. He doesn't have a lot of HP. So getting dove, this Goku is just like, yeah, he can get away. They definitely gave him a lot of passive here to get away, but ultimately he's just, once he gets dove, that's it. And that's kind of the same issue with KO and 18 here, so I put him above it because I'm just like, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, one of his big issues, if he gets dove, that's it. He can get out. If you're smart enough to get out, then cool, but typically that's pretty much his biggest weakness, is getting dove or dodging his abilities, putting him on cooldown and then diving him. Difference is, though, he actually has a get out tool to save him from that discrepancy, whereas though KO and 18 don't really have a get out tool to save them from that. I mean, yeah, 18 has her dashes, but they only go by so far. At least Goku gets a full speed boost, and then he can just maneuver out. You know, it's not just dash and then you stop and then you gotta you gotta slow move until you can go again, you know. It's just one of those things where I'd rather have the full dash than the short skip, you know. But I think that's just me. I think this is pretty good for the DPS right now. I don't think it's terrible, and it's actually good because these are the characters that you kind of see the most in the meta right now as well. Now I'm not saying she can't get out. I'm saying his is just better. Because I don't know if you guys agree, but me personally, I'd rather have the dash. I'd rather have the dash than like the ability to fully dash out than to have like a dash ability, right? Because if I have the ability to fully dash out, I now have full control over my movement versus like now having to put in the directional input, or if something goes wrong, then I hit a target that I don't want to hit, and then that's a problem that stops me from dashing fully. Or if somebody Goku teleports right in front of my face, I bump into him, then it's like, oh crap, there goes one of my dashes. Like there's a lot that can obstruct in a skill dash versus just being able to fly out the way. And being able to fly out the way has less obstructions that could occur. I'm just wondering what Topo's abilities could be. Like maybe he could reduce damage. That would be nice. That would be nice. A DPS that could reduce damage. That actually sounds kind of broke, but that would be nice as well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Now we move on to tanks. And I'm gonna start with the best. I'm gonna start with the best three. And then we are going to explain why they are the best three. Yeah, we'll start there. Yeah, we'll start there. I think these are the best three tanks in the game. I look, Cooler kind of speaks for himself. Cooler is the best thing in the game. Immune to all is just broken. One, he diffs Goku, Piccolo, and Goku easily. Once he gets to you, those rush attacks, Vegeta is pretty good. I'm gonna tell you why Vegeta is not on this top three. Let me get there. I will explain it to you. Because Vegeta is one of those characters where it's not as easy to hit those shots. But I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you. Immunity to all. Let's start with Cooler. It's very strong, very overpowered. Not to mention Cooler's base damage at the start of the game is also super strong, to the fact where he can go bar for bar doing rush attacks on characters like Goku, Piccolo, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and he will win every single time. He will win every single time going bar for bar. So he puts down a lot of your stronger DPS just by simply diving them. If they try to get away, retaliation grab, sit your butt right here. We not done until I say we done. And then Cooler's back on you until you're done. It's really not much you can do to get away from him once he's close to you. The best thing you can really do for Cooler is to range him out, which I think that's when Kale comes in, or Khalifa, excuse me. Khalifa, as much as I hate to say it, because Khalifa is one of my biggest ops. If you've been here long enough, you know I hate Khalifa with a big passion. Her character is just not enough for me. I don't like her, but I gotta tell you, she's probably one of the second best tanks in the game. And I used to think it was Baby, so don't think I'm being biased here, because I did used to think it was Baby, and I gotta go with Khalifa. The fact that she's able to barrier out different types of attacks, the fact that she can displace enemies and herself across the field. She has the most mobility, probably HP, of any tank in the game currently right now. She can tank a lot, and her Wrath ability is so overpowered that it pairs very well with the Goku that we currently have, and then the new Goku that we got. It pairs very well with their abilities. Being able to use Wrath on enemies and bring them in closer to you while you tank all of that and just feed damage to your DPS is really freaking good. I think out of all the tanks here, she probably has the biggest area control out of everyone. I don't want to say Cooler has area control, but Cooler definitely does have the ability to deny a lot from characters. He can deny ults, he can deny transformations, he can deny pretty much anything that's going to give you the upper hand in a fight. All you have to do is just react fast enough. But Khalifa just has full-on map control, and I love that. If you play her right, there's nowhere the enemy team can go that you don't want them to go. There's no chance of them pushing on you as easy as it looks sometimes. And not only with that, she does have good power on top of it. Now, and good wide range as well. Baby, I leave in third place because I feel like Baby is extremely slept on. A lot of people think that Baby is just bad on his own. Baby cannot support on his own. Baby has one of the best level 1 skills in the entire game. His first skill is probably one of the best in the entire game, and I say this because it's if I say anything, it's second to Kamehameha. It's wide, it's huge, it does a lot of hit damage, and then on top of that, it pushes enemies back. It is a good way to create space for your team, which again, just like Holifla, creating space is really good to have. Very different from, I will bring up Vegeta's ability, which is his Photon Bomber. It's good for creating space. It's not as good as these other abilities, because with Photon Bomber, you can actually just vanish out of it, vanish back, things like that. Baby's level 1 skill, you really can't vanish forward on. It's just going to keep pushing you back, so you're going to waste a whole vanish trying to vanish through it or anything like that. It's not really good to try to get over. And when you finally think you got this, Baby, he jumps into his teammate's power, he applies lifesteal, or he jumps into his teammate's body, excuse me, he applies lifesteal, and then your teammate can just kind of eat the rest of the game. So not only does he create space, keep enemies low and keep them away, slows them down, but as soon as you think you're about to get the upper hand in a fight, he's really just like a problem. Am I basing this tier list on solo play or pre-made? Wait, what you mean? Solo play or pre-made? Like, it's not a pre-made tier list. I'm basing this just off of how good these characters are in situations. What makes them great, what makes them above the other picks. Like, why would you want to pick one character over the other? What are their benefits? Now, I understand every single character have a benefit toward, like, no matter what the build is. Like, you can probably say Majin Buu is good with this character, and this character, but ultimately, what makes them good in their own rank? What out of the tank ranks, what makes these tanks better than others, and why would you want to pick them over others? Now, given we're going to leave a lot of situationals out of this, because I'm just going to bring up situations that they would be good in and talk about why that's good in the game, especially with the current meta that's going on. But ultimately, it's just going to be separate. But I do think Baby is one of the best in the I do think Baby is one of the best tanks in the game. He does tank very well. I don't think a lot of people really notice how good his AoE move is, his skill 2 at level 3. It is almost godly. It is like at the level of Cooler popping his skill 2. It's crazy. Slowing enemies down, the amount of damage it does. Now, I will say one downside to playing Baby is that you cannot use all of his abilities like back to back. So if I use my AoE, I have to wait for that skill 2 stop, which it does take a little bit to stop before I can use my skill 1. So his weakness is just not being able to change skills as well. So you can die while using one skill. If I'm using my level 1 and someone blasts me with a Kamehameha, I have to wait for that skill to end before I can do anything else. If I use my skill 2, I have to wait for that skill to end before I can do anything else. That whole time I'm sitting in that little vortex just like spamming shockwaves, someone can just come up and one-shot me. That is his one weakness. So with Baby, you do have to kind of be on point with how you're pushing teams. You have to really know what abilities you're using. You can't just mash out abilities, because if you use the wrong ability in the wrong situation, you can end up, dying, and nobody wants that. All right, I do think lifesteal is extremely powerful. That's probably the one thing I can say that can pretty much beat the other two up here right now too, and not really beat them, but it can definitely force them back and push them back, is when you get that lifesteal. That same thing goes for any tank, any DPS here. Once that lifesteal hits level 2, level 3, you can sustain a full 1v2 fight. It's not that much, and not to mention, because it spreads, he can easily pick off random enemies in team fights, which is super strong, because not a lot of these tanks can pick off multiple enemies separated around the map in a team fight like Baby can. So not only can he help you tank and sustain, but he can also pick off people around you, and I think that makes him really, really strong. Now, not too much on Baby, because now we're gonna go, I would say if I had to put anybody next, it would be Vegeta. And here's why I don't put Vegeta too high, because Vegeta is a fully installed character. His whole thing is based off of install. You have to hit your shots. If you're playing with somebody who knows how to bait your shots, then you're not going to get too much out of it. Vegeta does tank really well. Vegeta tanks extremely well, and he replenishes true HP. Very different from 17 that only replenishes bonus HP. The difference between bonus and true HP, chat, for those of you who don't know, bonus HP depletes over time, whether you're hit or not. but that true HP stays. So Vegeta can always replenish his toughness just by hitting his shots. He can potentially be one of the better tanks in the game. I think if his Photon Bomber did it, if his Photon Bomber gave him the health back, he would be right next to Cooler. Absolutely. But it's the fact that his Photon Bomber is one, easily escapable, and it doesn't give him toughness back, that makes it easier to dodge the other two abilities. If you see him going for the explosive wave, vanish out the way. If you see him going for the Ki Blast, get out the way. It's very easy to just kind of not push him and just choose to retreat, so that way he doesn't get anything from it. And if you're a smarter player, you're going to use that against him. But ultimately, he is really good. And like I said, if Photon Bomber just also did the same thing, he would be right next to Cooler. But it's just that one little issue of him having to install everything. It is great for farming. That I'm not even going to combat that. It is great for farming. But when you need it, man, you better hope you're not on a cooldown, because it's good for spacing people out. It's great for map control. If you have enemies, like let's say for instance Trunks wants to dive you, pop that Photon Bomber, dash out the way, and just leave him there. He can't go nowhere. Now he would be able to waste a vanish to get out of it. That much is very true. He would have to waste a vanish, but typically he wouldn't be able to go anywhere. But I think Vegeta's really strong, especially in the right hands. I actually like playing Vegeta more on PC because I know I'm more likely to hit my shots than on PlayStation, and it just makes playing with him a lot better. Really, if you can't really hit your shots, Vegeta's not fun. Cell would be right next to Vegeta. I don't think Cell is bad at all. Again, this is just how I think who's better than who, but ultimately I don't think Cell's really that bad anymore. Early game, Cell is virtually unplayable. You have to be extremely careful. You got to go for those opportunities that are true, not the ones that you think you can get, but you pretty much got to confirm, yo, I can get that, right? His backbreaker ability is so nasty. Just stop people from running. It has a super long range. It can stop ults. It can deny, and I like that. Being able to deny ults, deny transformations, deny super attacks. He can definitely do that to you, making it hard for you to play. Where Cell falls short, though, I think Cell slept on. He's second best tank. Where he falls short, though, he loses, or he does not have the ability to control the map in any way possible. And I think that's where he loses out, where a lot of people actually benefit from this. Khalifa can control the map, Cooler can control the map and deny, Baby can control space. Basically, when I say control the map, I say control space. Baby can also control space. Vegeta can also control space. There's not much Cell can do to control space, and that's where he will then lose out. Now, Cell can deny people from diving you, which is great, and I do agree he does have the potential to be a great tank. Where he falls short, it's his ult is like, I would say his ult too. I knew that was going to come. I knew he was going to say his ult, because he can definitely do that with his ult, yes, but it's the fact that it's his ult and he can't just do it all the time, right? Where these other characters have full map control at all times. They can space you out, they can control the area, they can use their passive abilities whenever they want. Cell just doesn't have anything currently going right now that gives him that form of control, and me personally, I think that's where he falls short compared to everyone else. And whereas, though, funny enough, I think he falls short there, the one person who does still have it that we haven't talked about yet is Zamasu. And I put Zamasu at the last because Zamasu really is just, I gotta kill you before you kill me. He has no passives, unlike everyone else here. He has no passives to actually do anything. Even his ult can be canceled by the people who can deny here. And I think his ult is really good at level 3, and that's where it kind of falls short because it takes time to get there. And his ult is really good because it's a crazy amount of slow. It's not normal slow. It's an insane amount of slow that you get put on. You're almost walking in quicksand. You can't really go anywhere. And then he's just there to bully you the entire time. I think it's really good. The issue is I can still use abilities inside of it. So if I'm already going to one-shot this fool anyway, I'm going to one-shot him now, definitely, right? And it's just really playing this game of I need to take you out before you take me out. And if you do take me out, I'll just regen. But the thing is, characters in this game are so dang going strong. You saw it earlier, and that's why I think he has this problem, is you saw it earlier. When it was just me, yeah, you know, he popped his immortality. He was able to get out of the way with the invulnerability. Okay, cool. But when we were in a team fight, oh, the moment he got up, he got wrecked again. Then his health bar went up again. He got wrecked again. It's like, it's immortality, but you're kind of just delaying the inevitable. Yeah, he gets res, but then he dies again almost instantly because people in this game are so daggone strong. And end game is such a powerful stage of the game that it's just, what can you do? You get back up just to die again. You know, and I just don't feel like right now he's that good. Now, during the beta, he was annoying. During the beta, before we got hands on Cooler, him and Vegeta were running it. Oh my god, like Vegeta was so strong, he was so strong, and it was really a debate of who was the better tank, because it felt like Vegeta was a better tank, but arguably I had to say, like, at that current time, Zamasu was the better tank. He was insane. It was tough to even deal with him as Vegeta, but now since they nerfed him, it's just really hard to play a good Zamasu. And when you do, you kind of just get away with it. You don't really earn it. You know, you don't earn it on your own. You kind of just get away with it because maybe the team's not playing a certain way or whatever. And you just kind of get away with some bull. But ultimately, like, if I'm just rushing the Zamasu down, it's not much you can do. Just rush him down, get him out the way. We've even lost to Zamasu before. Most of that was due to the fact that I either was like the only one fighting him and damage just wasn't going towards Zamasu, or we were getting separated and he got to have fun with his 1v1. He does great in 1v1s. If you're just fighting another tank, you're definitely going to out damage the tank. He does a lot of damage, but it's just the sustainability that most of these other tanks have kind of beat out the fact that he can damage them or he can out damage them. And I think that's where he falls short. He needs a passive. The moment he gets a passive that's not immortality, I will gladly move him up if it's something that's really good. Even if it was once he hits 50%, he gets more HP back, something like that, you know. But yeah, that's where I think he just kind of falls short. Now, going for techs, I'm just going to put this off. We're just going to throw out the first two because we got less tech characters. Gohan and Hit are insane. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I gotta change that. I'm sorry. I think Gohan and Hit are the top two. They are the best. Will you make an updated tier list with a new characters job? Yeah, I could do an updated tier list. I could definitely do an updated tier list. A good hit, I just hate fighting. You don't fight a good hit. You just pray to God that he leaves you alone, or you do enough damage that he leaves you alone. But you don't really fight a good hit. You just he does need to be removed from the game. I 100% agree. Blind is an insane ability to be used this much for this character, and for the amount of AoE he has on his ult, once you're in a team fight, no one's escaping. There's not much anybody can do about it. When you go, yo, how am I blind? How did he hit that? Well, because he essentially just uses domain expansion. What are you doing? Who okayed this? He pull up domain expansion. The rest of your team is now blind for the duration of however long he wants you to be, and then he's just wrecking you. And when you're blind, it almost feels like you can't hit anything. You get no confirmation. The controller don't even vibrate. You hear no dinks or nothing. And it's one of the hardest things to deal with because he can also vanish and teleport all over the place. I tried to fight him earlier. You guys know I'm not terrible at this game. I'm pretty damn good at this game, actually. I like to think I'm pretty daggone good. But the moment I 1v1 this man, oh yeah, I wasn't touching him. I got blinded. I got stunned. He vanished out the way. I was just like, what do I do? Comes back, boom, stun me again. I'm like, all right, cool beans. The only way I can truly combat a character like Hit is if I'm using someone with good AoE. Typically, if I'm using Baby or if I'm using Cooler, if I'm using those AoE abilities, he can't really get into me without hitting that. so it makes it a lot easier to fight him. But those type of characters are the only characters that are worth actually dealing with him with, because other than that, you just got to let him get the win. You're not fighting him. Any ability you do is just going to whiff. Any chance you think of having to run away, he's just going to jump right on top of you. It's just not much you can do. I just checked, you're getting your Goku skin October 16th. Whoa, it comes in that late? I didn't know that. That's crazy. Gohan has probably one of the longest stuns in the game. Gohan has the longest stun in the game, dog. I've seen, and he pairs so well with so many other people. I mean, his Masenko, giving pushback, creating space. He is a tank and a tech all in one. And when I say he's a tank, I'm not saying he's tanking damage, right? But what I'm saying is he provides speed. His passive that connects to team players are also really, really good. Not only that, he can create space with his Masenko. Not only that, he can stun long enough for your teammate to get a kill. Ari hit butted somebody earlier, and all I did was vanish back as Piccolo, pop my little light grenade from max distance, boom, one shot. That's all it took. I had enough time to fully set up an attack for this dude, and all he did was get stunned. He had no choice but to take whatever was coming to him. That's insanely busted. There's currently a duo in this game running around as well too, using Trunks and Gohan. I don't never want to fight them again, because never have I seen a Gohan hit butt me and Trunks just come run my shit for free. It is and he will constantly hit butt you. He will always set up this hit butt. This hit butt is probably his strongest asset, and this Gohan is also fast. So not only can he support extremely well in team fights, yes, he can also steal enemy towers and get out to tell the tale. Like, he's insanely good. He does what a lot of the other techs do, but better. I mean, honestly, his stun is actually better than hits. I only give hits to it because hit is essentially a DPS in attack, honestly. Gohan is just really good where he stands. Now, if I had to throw somebody up next to Gohan, it would unfortunately be Frieza. I gotta say Frieza's up there now. As much as I hate to say it, Frieza's hard to kill. He's super fast. Frieza is amazing at taking space. And the one thing that I will always say is that in games like this, where positioning is such an important thing, even in hero shooters, where positioning is such an important thing, for a character to be able to take space from the enemy team is so strong. It makes any character just extremely strong. And the fact that he does that, a lot of people don't. I notice a lot of people don't use it as well. But Frieza's ult can also shut down super attacks. Whereas though, if I use a Kamehameha, you use a Kamehameha, they're just going to go past each other. We're both going to hit each other. If he uses that death ball or supernova, I can't remember which one it was, but if he uses that and you try to Kamehameha or anything and it goes on top of a boss, it's going to block it. And you're going to lose that boss. It's going to block it and you're going to take that damage. He's actually really good. He denies, he takes space, and he's so fast he can also take towers. Frieza and his new buff is insane now. Zarbon is incredibly good. The Daria is incredibly good. It's almost like fighting just another character on the field when they're out. Just good placement is going to be really good, and he's perfect for securing bosses. Yes, boss secure. Even if you're going after the Supreme Kais, I do not go after Supreme Kais when Frieza's on my field. I'm gonna wait till he gets them down, and I'm gonna try to steal him, because there's no point in trying to fight that. He's gonna win it every time. So your best bet is to try to steal it from him when he just lets the Dodoria and Zarbon do it and he doesn't try to fight it himself. Just take it from him. That's your best bet, because it's gonna do you a disservice trying to take that space back. You're gonna take way too much damage, and the next thing you know, his partner's gonna come up and finish you. Frieza is incredibly annoying in all the best ways, and I hate it because I gotta admit it. After him, I would definitely put up 17. I think 17 is scary good. 17 has the potential to be so much better. I think if they just increase his, because his level 2 on his first skill, kind of bad, right? Me personally, I would also love it if he gave people more actual HP instead of bonus HP. He gives bonus HP, so it does deplete over time. I would love it more if he gave actual HP, but that's just probably me asking for too much. I'm not gonna lie, but I think 17 is scary good. In game, once you hit about level 8, 17 can start killing people on the enemy team, and it's just nasty. He's super fast. He has a decent long range ability. He can also heal. He can block off enemy key attacks with his ult. I gotta say, he's really, really good. I don't know if I agree with 17 and Frieza being over Krillin though. Here's the thing though. I'm actually gonna put Krillin, because you ain't even asked me why I was gonna put Krillin. I ain't going down the list. Sometimes I get in between. I'm actually putting Krillin right in between, because what I think Krillin falls off a lot at is, one, Krillin is a lot of annoyance with no impact. Like, when are you actually going to see Krillin get a kill? Krillin's going to set enemies at low HP. Krillin's going to set traps. He's going to shoot that scatter Kamehameha. It's not too often he's actually going to get a kill unless you're that one-off who just happens to be super good with Krillin. But he really does set up very well for kills, which is not his job to kill. I get that. His trap features really good, but also have been over time becoming very easy to spot and dodge and get away from. It's not a lot. Even when he does finally get you a solar flare, yeah, it's annoying, but it's not really going to do too much. He does control space with his ult. I do believe that very much. I agree with you. Even with his mines, he controls a lot of space. It's just not detrimental. It's not overwhelming. You know what I mean? Now, if you get hit with 3 of them orbs, you're cooked. I'm gonna tell you that. But it's not too often one Krillin's gonna place 3 of them orbs in one spot. Give it a buck. It's not too often. Me, I'm gonna be that butthole that does it, because I just think it's funny when I pop 3 in one spot and you get smacked by all 3 and you die, and I'm just like, them's the beats. But ultimately, no, not too many people are gonna do it, or at least I haven't seen too many people do it. And I still think Krillin is really good though. I would definitely put him above 17, because at the end of the day, the blind is really good. He gets it often. He has low cooldowns. His ult is great, does a lot of damage. Yeah, that's really about it. And again, map control is very important. I'm always going to say map control is good, and that's the thing where I think him and Frieza have it out at. Whereas though Hit has map control, Gohan doesn't have a lot of map control, but Gohan makes so much good space, and his stun is so good that it makes up for the lack of map control. And it's so good, in fact, that I gotta put him above, because Gohan is just a go-to character. I think more people started figuring out the last week. I've been seeing more people use Gohan. It's insane. But enough. I'm not gonna do too much on that. Boo is incredibly underwhelming, and this is where I gotta put him here, because at first I used to join the cult of, man, Boo's not that bad, Boo's crazy. Boo's silence is insane, but the thing is, I can still use certain abilities in that silence. Boo hit me with his gum twice. I was still charging a special beam cannon inside the gum, and as soon as he let me out, I hit him with a special beam cannon. He never saw it coming, because the gum blocked him from seeing me charge a special beam cannon. It's crazy. And Boo doesn't have any HP to sustain. He's almost as bad as running around with Frieza, but he's worse because he's a bigger target. He's a bigger target with not as much speed as Frieza. Now I do say some things I do respect about Boo. He has 2 dashes. He has his regular dash, and then he has his little super run that he does. It's really good. It's really good. He just doesn't have a lot of HP to sustain a lot of fights, and even with the silencing just doesn't do enough. It's one of those things you really got to coordinate, and it's really just not enough at the end of the day. Candy Beam is great, kind of underwhelming. He eats you, he walks off, kind of like, whatever, I'll just wait till me to leave. Like, a lot of his kit is just extremely underwhelming. I really don't think there's any more to say than just that. Although he would make a great tank. I mean, the amount of space he'd be able to make with his dash ability, turning people into candy, would be really good too, because he can displace enemies. Yo, Superman, what's going on, boss? Thank you for the follow. By eating your enemy teammates and just walking them to another section of the point and just placing them there and dashing back, great. Like, that would be awesome. You know, if he just had more HP to be able to do all that, plus he can heal his team, I think that's a great ability a tank should have as well too. Heal his team. I would reduce the heals a little bit, but I would still give that ability. That'd be nice if you wanted to change him in the tank, just keep it that way. But a lot of it's just underwhelming. I see a Boo on the team, I'm like, I'm really not going to do anything but farm this Boo. Or if I can't farm the Boo, I'm gonna farm whoever's on this team, because he's not really going to do much, you know. Until maybe in game, then he starts getting a bit annoying. But other than that, no, Boo has never been something I've looked at and said this is overwhelming. Now we do have Topo and Gotenks, so we will actually talk about them another time. I don't think they need to be added to this list right now as they're not out, so we really don't have any experience or play style to go off of. But I think this is a solid tier list. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's out of pocket to say a lot of these things. Funny enough, I think the most surprising thing from this tier list is where Deborah sits for me. Everyone else is pretty fair game. Deborah is so good on paper, but when actually executed in game, he's not as good as what it looks like on paper. And I think that's what's really weird. And you have to really find a good Deborah. But other than that, I think this is a solid playlist. I mean, honestly, let me know what you guys think. Is there anything, like, what are you guys' opinions? Is there anything that you would make changes to? Is there anything that you would move around? Like, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Like, what do you find off about this tier list compared to others? Things like that. Like, let me know. What do y'all find weird, man?